Hello there, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa and this is the Girl Miss Yarn. In this channel we talk a lot about knitting, but I also here and there splash a little bit of sewing, cooking, thrifting, vlogging, you name it. Today I'm going to talk about my latest warm weather sweater, the classic pattern Ranunculus by Midori Heroes in a linen viscose blend, and I hope you like it. So if that's for you, then keep on watching. Before we start, I'm going to point out that I'm wearing my Ashton top by Helen Closet. I made this in the month of June and I share it on my June recap where I share some whips that I worked on the month and then a couple of things that I finished sewing wise. I bought two fabrics, I think it was on Sunday. They're wash and prep ready to go because I want to cut two more and I want to cut them in a size 10, which is going to be a little bit bigger so I have a little bit more room, but when I like something I make it a couple times, hence the Ranunculus. Let's talk about the Ranunculus. I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, Lisa, that pattern is all as F, okay? Like, why you keep on making the same things? Because I like it. I love this pattern. I think this pattern is a classic. And I jumped into the Ranunculus wagon back in 2019 when Melissa, when she owned Espastico, and everybody wanted to knit. To this day, everybody wants to knit what she knits. Jump into it, and I think she held like a fingering with a mohair, and I was like, excuse me, I want to make one of those. And sure enough, I made this version. This is my first version. I made it, I think I finished in August 2019, and I loved it. It was a great accident, and I'm going to explain why. So number one, I was looking at the fabric or the yarn, sorry, I was looking at the yarn composition for the yarn that I used this third time, and coincidentally one of the subs was the yarn that I used for this one, and I use an Katia Air Luxe, which is like a combination of 70% viscose and 30% wool. It has a little fussy on it. It looks like a little mohair, but with lurex. It's just gorgeous. I don't remember the color that I used, but it was like a maroon color, and I held it with a black mohair, and I used the two yarns on the body, but I kept just the lurex or the main yarn on all ribs all around. So I used to give it like something. What I like about this pattern is that the designer explains that it's like having a couple of necklaces on your, you know, neck, and sure enough it's very simple. And the best thing that I like about this pattern, you can customizable. It's so customizable. You can make it super wide, you can make it a little tiny, you can do long sleeve, short sleeve, every kind of sleeve, kind of like wide neck or close-up neck, you name it, and you can use any weight, and you can do so much with this pattern. And it's one of those. It's one of those, and I love it. This is my first one. I love that so much. And if I'm going to revisit what I did on this pattern, I did a size 2 if I'm not mistaken. I may be mistaken because I don't have a Ravelry page for this pattern, but I did make some mistakes on it. I didn't do the length after you finish the yoke, and it's a little bit more fitted. I would say it's not, it's amazing. I love it. It's a little bit fitted, and because I use two lays together, it's quite tiny, especially because I made it tiny. I did like I said, use just the main yarn on the rib, and I did a little bit longer rib. And what I did on the sleeves is that instead of like casting off the, you know, the sleeve stitches, I let them hang on waist yarn, and then I picked up, and I think I knit 1 or 2 rows, and then I started with the rib, just because I didn't like that undone kind of suggestion of the pattern. And then again, you can make whatever sleeve you want with this design. When I made my second one, I made it last year, I bought some yarn by accident, and I thought what to do. I bought it in an accident because it was on sale, but I bought too little, and it was a worsted weight yarn, and I frog it here in this channel. I don't know how many episodes back, but I made a bigger size. It was awful. I didn't like it. It was too thick, and I didn't gaze watch, and I didn't like the fit. So what I did, I frogged it out. I gave it to my friend, the yarn. I gave the yarn to my friend Anna, and I hope she used that yarn. sometimes because I didn't want it to go to waste, and at the same time I'm not going to be using that yarn in this weather because it's quite hot here in Texas. So I went in April to Puerto Rico, and coincidentally my friend Lena, which I knew her, you know, from Instagram, she was in Puerto Rico as well. We are both from there, and she was visiting her mom. I think she was taking like a couple of weeks to visit her mom. She is a college professor, I think in Los Angeles, and she's moving to France now for a year, something like that. I mean, like life. We all want to be Lena. But we met for coffee. I have never met her, you know, kind of like in real life. So we met in this beautiful cafe, and I talked for for 2 hours and a half. I felt that she was my friend since I'm like out of the womb, and we clicked right away. I didn't want to actually like stop, like, you know, like I didn't want her to go, so I kind of like bribed her to go to this yarn shop that I went with my mom a couple of days before, and I love this super bright pink linen viscose blend, and I wanted her to go get it with Lena because my mom, every time I go to anywhere, she's like, you don't need that. So I wanted to go by myself. So I invited her to go to this yarn shop, and we went together, and she loved the yarn as well. So we right away grabbed the yarn and decided to make a twin kind of like pattern. And I know I talked to Anna and Not Knitting, and I told her about this yarn that I loved, and she goes like, you can make a ranunculus, and I was like, yes I do. So I suggested to Lena, let's do a ranunculus together, and she have never made one. So we both grabbed our color choice. She got like a chartreusey green, lime green, and I got a peachy color. So let's talk about materials and then into the process. This pattern is by Midori Heroes, and it goes up to a size 11 or 70-inch wide bust, but at the same time you can customize it with the needles and the yarn to make it bigger or smaller, you know, just go wild. You have two versions of sleeve, long sleeve or cap sleeve, and like in my, you know, my two ranunculus, I did made my own kind of like sleeve combo, and then you have two different neck lines, so very customizable. And I think that's why it's so kind of, I will say kind of a classic, because you just do whatever, and if not, just rock it, just go wild. Yarn, I got two skeins. There are 200 grams, and this is the Casa Sol Lino Flamme, and the color Arena, and this is what I have left. I have 143 grams left. I use 1 and a fourth of it. If you can see, it's quite beautiful. I love this yarn. They have it in Puerto Rico. It's just what they use because it's more appropriate for hot weather. This one is a 70% viscose, 30% linen, and compared to this one is the same color kind of combo. So this one, the main one, it's 70% viscose and then 30% wool. This one is just 30% linen instead of the wool. This is the drapiest yarn ever. Viscose is from the family of rayon, which is soft, silky, and very kind of like, I don't know, like lustrous. Linen is amazing, but it lacks, you know, that springiness. So this company mixed the linen with the viscose to add elasticity and softness to the linen, and then the technique that they use is that they hand weave it, and you have kind of like the thick and thin kind of situation. So it's not just, you know, just give it like a little slubby texture to it, and it's really spongy. So I really like it, and it comes in very different, like a lot of colors. There's one like the hot pink, I mean, this is from Spain, and it's not available here in the States like it's in Europe. It's more, I don't know, it's really hard to find this one here. So okay, a little mannequin change, but Needle wise, I used the recommended needles. I didn't gauge swatch, and I used the US size 10 for the body and US size 8 for the rib all around, and I love it. It's so good. Okay, let's talk about the process. I want to start by saying that I have made 3 patterns by this designer. I think I have the 4th one, the cherry, that I have not even started it. But I think this designer is really good. Her patterns are really simple. There's a lot of resources like links and stuff like that to follow if you have a little doubt here and there on any stitch that she is suggesting. I love how she does the increases, especially in the snowy forest. I was like, what's going on? Really really good. I know some people have said like how I keep track of things, and if you want to know how I do keep track of like a chart or whatever, just let me know and I can do a video for that about that. But I love that she divides the steps, you know, like she divides in blocks, like now we're gonna do the ribbing, and now we're gonna do the yoke, and now we're gonna do the increases, whatever. So it's very easy to follow, especially if you're a beginner. I'll say this is like an advanced beginner design, because there's no crazy stitches there, and if you need any kind of info, you'll have a link with the visual to support the stitch. Anyway, so you start with a crochet cast on, and I have always skipped that step. I don't like it, or I didn't like it until recently that I was doing another project, and now I'm a believer. So this one and the one before just have a regular cast on, and then I skip right into a twisted rib, and I did for how many rows you have to do, and then you go into a little bit of short row. Again, very simple to do, and if not, you have the resource of the link to follow this video. And then you go into the actual design, the necklaces, and it's very simple combination that you repeat a couple times, since you have a couple of yarn overs and you have some some cute little things, and really easy to follow. Then depending on your size, you're going to have some increases, or you're going to have some length before you divide for the sleeves. And what I did, I followed the instructions, and instead of casting off the stitches for the short sleeve, I left the stitches in a waste yarn, and then I proceeded to do the body. So I follow the directions for the length. Again, you can customize it. I didn't want it to be too long, because you guys know linen sometimes kind of like stretch, and I didn't want it to be like super long. I like to wear my sweaters in a little bit more of a crop version, because I wear really high-waisted pants all the freaking time. They're so comfortable. I'm never going to low rise ever again. I had that for a long time. Not anymore. This time it needs to be contained. Anyway, so when I went into the rib, I know Lena told me that she was not happy about her rib and that she wanted to do it again. So I usually don't switch needles until I go to probably, I don't know, the rib on the sleeves. I did have the US size 8 on the neck, and then I switched to 10. But then when I went into the rib, I went ahead and I switched to size 8, and I love it. It does look a little wavy, but it's because I put it on the washing machine. I am convinced that the washing machine is the way to go. Anyway, so after that I was content, and you see it's a little bit longer here on the front, and I don't know if I did it. I don't know, I have to check this really well, because I think I put the label wrong, and then this is the back and this is the front, but I cannot see the short rows because I did it so well, just saying. Anyway, so I was content with the rib, and then I did a regular cast off because I didn't want it to be stretched out and, you know, like not have like a uniform kind of like I went ahead and I placed all the stitches into my needles, and I did 1 or 2 rows before I did a rib, and I did the same amount of rows that I had on the neckband. Here I did 8 rows, I think it was, and then I cast it off with just a regular cast off. I think, yeah, or I don't know what I did, but it looks really nice. Anyway, that was it. What I love about this sweater is super drapey. So I tried to find some kind of like subs for this yarn that I use, and I will say the Berroco Splash can be a good contender, or the Katia Cotton Linen, but I know those brands are really difficult to find here in the States. You can definitely go for full linen if you want, but I like that after I washed this sweater, it became really drapey and just kind of like shiny. I like it. Like I said, I washed it on the washing machine and it just really softened a lot. Not that it feels scratchy, it feels a little something. I will have to say I don't have a problem knitting with cotton or linen or anything like that, but I will have to say it was a joy to knit with this yarn. I was not battling it. It was not as springy as a wool will be, but also it was not too constrictive or too, I don't know, it was just like, I don't have a bad taste in my mouth after knitting with this because it was kind of easy too, and after washing it just did actually soften quite a lot. So I was quite surprised with this yarn. No pain in my hands, no pain in my elbows, no pain in my forearms, nothing. So it's super comfortable, super breathable. I have used it when it's like 100 degrees outside and I don't feel like it's just too hot. Number one, because I use the big needles and it's just like a little bit, you know, wider gauge, but also because the yarn, it's so crisp, so really nice. So okay, I think that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. I think next week I'm going to talk about the mini muck neck tank, whatever, that I talk on my June whip down. And I am about to finish, but I think it's a little big. I know. Or if not, I'm going to just you know, make something up because I cannot knit as fast as I can make videos. Okay, just saying. But I think that's it for me. I do read a lot these days, so if you want me to do a little recap of the books that I read the week before, just let me know. Okay, I will gladly add it here because I'm not too fancy with my books. I read a lot of rom-com, trash, fantasy, so if you are into that, I know I believe like I'm a young adult but I read a lot of crap. But anyway, just saying, until next video, thank you so much for watching and happy knitting. Bye. It never disappoints when I am recording something happening. Hi guys, welcome to my channel.